Explanation of symbols on worksheets are as follows. Use coloring crayons to color the picture. Use your finger to follow the track or line or show the correct picture. Use a coloring crayon to draw a line or write a number or sound. Look at the picture and say the number or sound out loud. Use a scissors to cut on the dotted line. Look at the picture. Use these symbols for the lesson of the day, which will be allocated at the top right side of each page. For example, Lesson 1, Prepositions and Directions.
Welcome to My Zone Online School. My name is Teacher Netai, and let's welcome my friend. Before we begin, let's sanitize our hands. Rub, rub, rub your hands back, inside and forth. Now your hands and mine are clean. We have sanitized. Rub, rub, rub your hands back, inside and forth. Now your hands and mine are clean. We have sanitized. Now you need to remember to maintain social distance, and you should always wear your mask. Today's lesson is on cardinal numbers and time. Let's turn to page 3 of our booklet. If we look at our booklet, we have a clock which is on the booklet. It has some dots on it and some numbers. Some numbers are missing, and as we count, we know we always start counting from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And if you look at the clock, 7 is already there. Then we go to 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. On today's activity, I would like you to color in the clock that you see on page 3. Once you have finished coloring the page, I would like you to get your pair of scissors and cut along the dotted line on the left side of the page and paste it on page 4. Then we will turn over to page 5. On page 5, today's activity is asking us what happens first. As we can see, we see pictures which are lined up. On the first picture, I want us to study the picture together. There is a tree standing by on the side, on the right side, and the sun. But focus on the face of the sun. Look at the eyes of the sun. The sun is fast asleep. The eyes are closed. So it tells us something there. Let's look at picture number 2 just below the first one. The sun's eyes are wide open and wide awake. But we cannot see the complete face of the sun. It tells us something. We will go back to that and explain a little bit later. Let's look at the third picture. The sun is up in the sky, and we can see the whole face of the sun. Now let's go back to the numbers on the right top side of the page. We have number 1, number 2, and number 3. Now we need to know in the daily days, if we look when the sun rises, which one is going to be the first picture? What happens first? Let's look. Remember, focus on the sun's eyes. The first picture is going to be the one in the second place. So we will have to write number 1 in the second block next to the second picture. That is what happens first. Now let's move on. Once the sun is rising, what happens next? It goes high up in the sky. So that picture is right at the bottom of the page. That is our second picture. That is what happens next. So we have to write number 2 in the box at the bottom. Now let's look at the picture right on the top. The picture on the top, it tells us the sun is ready to go to sleep. It's time for sunset. So that is picture number 3, which is going to be our number 3 picture. That is what happens last. Now, when you have finished with page 5, let's turn to page 6. On page 6, we have an instruction given there. It says, fill in the numbers in order of the events, starting from, fill in the numbers to the order, the events from start to finish. Now let's look at the pictures. Let's study the pictures together. Let's look at the first picture right on top. We can see the children are walking to go to school. That we are not doing these days because of the COVID-19. Let's look at the next picture just below it. There is a little boy brushing his teeth. He is in the bathroom. Let's look at another picture just below that. It is the little boy's bedroom. And there is no one in the bed, which means he has woken up. Let's look at the last picture right at the end of the page. The little boy is getting dressed. It means the boy is getting ready to go to school. Now we need to put the order of the events. When you wake up to go to school, what happens first? First, when you wake up and leave your bed, as we can see. So the picture with an empty bed is picture number 1. So you need to write 1 in the little box just below the bed. Let's look for the second picture. When you have woken up, what is the next thing that you need to do? You go to the bathroom and take a bath, brush your teeth, and make sure you are clean to get ready to go to school. So picture number 2 is where the little boy is brushing his teeth in the bathroom. Let's write number 2 on the little corner next to the picture where the little boy is brushing his teeth. Now we have to move to the next picture. What happens next after brushing our teeth and taking a nice bath? We need to get dressed. The little boy at the bottom of the page is getting dressed to get ready to go to school. So that's picture number 3. Let's write number 3 in the little box next to the picture. And what happens next when the little boy is ready to go to school? The last picture is right on top of the page with a little girl walking to school. Now let's turn over to page 7. Page 7 has almost the same activities as page 6. We need to put everything in order of the events. How does everything happen? Which comes first? Good. Now let's look. When mommy wants to bake some cookies, what does she do first? First, she should have all her ingredients with her, which is the eggs, the flour, the milk, the salt, the baking soda. That's the first picture I can see on my right. Okay, let's move to the next picture. Then what happens next? The next picture, we need a bowl to mix all the ingredients. Where is the bowl with a spoon? The bowl is right there. It is the second picture in the first row. So that is going to be the next number 2. That is our number 2 that happens. Let's move on to the next. After mixing everything, what happens next? We need to cut out the cookies and place them on the tray so that we may be able to bake them. So there is the picture. On the first picture is right at the beginning. So that is picture number 3. Once we have baked the cookies, what happens last? We can be able to eat the cookies, and there is a little boy eating the cookies. So let's go back to the picture quickly. Our picture number 1 is where we have the ingredients, the flours, the eggs, the milk, and the salt. So let's write number 1. Then let's move to where the bowl and the spoon is. That is picture number 2. Then picture number 3, the cookies are laid down nicely in the tray to bake. That is picture number 3. So we write number 3 in the little box. Then the last part is where the little boy is eating the cookie. So let's write number 4. Let's look at the picture at the bottom. The little boy would like to make a nice toy, a little toy car. What does he do? He needs to have all his equipment. He needs planks, he needs nails, he needs a hammer. So picture number 1 is our third picture in the second row. That's number 1. So we put number 1 right below the picture where we have all the tools and the planks and the nails. Can we write number 1? Very good. Let's look again. What happens next? If you have all your equipment and you have all your tools, you need to put your things together, join the planks for you to be able to come up with your toy car. There is the little boy. He is second in the row. He is making his little car with his hammer in his hand. He is nailing the nails into the plank. So that's picture number 2. Let's write number 2. Let's move on. What happens next after nailing everything? The car is done. So the picture right at the beginning of the second row is picture number 3. And the car is ready. Now the little boy invites his little sister to join him, to play with him. So the last picture where they are playing with the little car is picture number 4. Let's write the numbers. I will just go over a little bit so that you can remember. We need to have all the tools. That's picture number 1 and the planks. And then picture 2 is where the boy has a hammer in his hand. And then picture number 3, the toy car is ready. And picture number 4 is the last picture where the 2 children are already playing. Well done, boys and girls. I hope you enjoyed today's lessons, boys and girls. Now let's sanitize our hands. Rub, rub, rub your hands back, inside and forth. Now your hands and mine are clean. We have sanitized. Rub, rub, rub your hands back, inside and forth. Now your hands and mine are clean. We have sanitized. Now let's remember to maintain a social distance and to wear our mask all the time. Now, where is Zoshi? I wonder. Zoshi has come to say goodbye. Bye-bye, everyone.
Hi everyone, my name is Yoshi, I'm back. And you can always stay active throughout the lockdown. You can play with your friends, but keep your distance. Like me and my friend, yay! And you can also jog and sing to be active. Until next time, bye!